a newly rediscovered tomb at Giza, a facial reconstruction of a woman whom some believe is the famous Queen Nefertiti, a new round of scanning in Tutankamun's tomb, and discoveries at the site of Abu Sir, where some new tomb shafts were found. All of this is coming up in our first installment of Egyptology news and new discoveries on the Dead Speak Online. Welcome to the Dead Speak Online, where we demystify the words and lives of the ancient Egyptians through animated videos like this one. If you're new here, I'd love to have you subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this one. Hi everyone, I'm so glad to finally be back after a long absence due to a string of basically continuous minor illnesses, and you can probably hear that I'm still recovering from the latest one. So now that I'm back, I'm going to kick off this new series on Egyptology news and new discoveries. About a month ago, I asked all of you here on YouTube and across social media what videos you'd like to see in 2018, and lots of you said you wanted to see more about the new discoveries in Egyptology. So I'm really excited to kick off this new series for those of you who asked for it. Now, it's been a pretty eventful news cycle in the last couple of weeks. We have several things to talk about, so let's jump right in. Now, probably my favorite of the most recent news items in Egyptology is the rediscovery of a beautifully decorated tomb of a woman named Hetepet at Giza. And this has really had the Egyptology community abuzz. The Minister of Antiquities, Khaled El-Anani, announced on February 3rd the discovery of this tomb, and that it was made by an Egyptian team led by Dr. Mustafa Al-Waziri. The tomb was originally discovered actually in the early 20th century, but it hadn't been seen and explored since then. Hetepet was a priestess of Hathor and a really important woman in her day, obviously close to the royal court, since she was buried at the site of Giza, and she lived during the time of the late 5th dynasty. If you want to know more about these time periods, 5th dynasty, Old Kingdom, and so forth, and what they mean, you can check out my video on ancient Egyptian chronology in the link that's going to pop up in the right-hand corner up above, and also there'll be a link in the description below. Hetepet's tomb features some delightful and well-preserved scenes of various activities, including a scene of a bunch of musicians playing music, and there's a baboon even standing behind them dancing to the music. It's somewhat damaged, but you can kind of see the baboon here to the right. There's also a scene of men melting different kinds of metals to make things like jewelry. Another baboon shown picking fruit and gathering it in a basket while she carries a baby on her back. In several scenes, you see different people, including Hetepet's children, bringing offerings for her to use in her afterlife. And there's even a scene of a cow giving birth, which shows a large feline of some kind of wild cat off to the left, who seems to be waiting just to catch that calf as soon as it emerges. Now, heading much further south in Egypt down to the Valley of the Kings, on the west bank of what was ancient Thebes, an Italian team of the Polytechnic faculty at Turin University has recently started a third radar scanning inside of the tomb of Tutankamun. Now, this scanning is being done to try and resolve whether there is indeed a hidden room behind one of the walls in Tutankamun's tomb, as was proposed by Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves in 2015. Reeves suggested then that there was a hidden chamber behind one of these walls, and that this chamber would have been the original burial place of the famous Queen Nefertiti, and it set off quite a media firestorm at the time. Since then, 2 previous radar scans have been conducted and have been rather inconclusive, so we'll have to wait and see if this third scanning project can settle the matter. And believe it or not, we have yet another Nefertiti item in today's news, so make sure to stay tuned for that last news item as well. So moving back north again, the Antiquities Ministry carried out salvage archaeology at the site of Abu Sir after hearing of reports of illicit digging there. So the team, once they started working there, found 3 burial shafts dating to the Ptolemaic period. Within these shafts, the archaeologists, led by Sabri Farag, discovered wooden coffins, faience pots, and some small mummies. And it's been suggested that these small mummies might be mummies of birds, while others have suggested that they may actually be what Egyptologists call grain mummies, which didn't contain bodies at all, but rather basically mud and seeds and straw and so forth, and were shaped like a mummy and then buried as a part of a ritual for the god Osiris. Moving on to our final news item of the day, The Travel Channel recently revealed on the Today Show a facial reconstruction of a mummy known as the Younger Lady. Now, the Younger Lady has actually been identified in a DNA study as the mother of King Tutankhamun, and many believe that she's also the famous Queen Nefertiti, a wife of King Akhenaten. However, whether she was Nefertiti or not is still hotly debated, and many believe that she was another woman connected with the royal family, such as, for example, the secondary wife of King Akhenaten named Kia. Now, whether she's Nefertiti or not, though, it seems very much likely that she was the mother of Tutankhamun. Involved in this project were the host of the Travel Channel show Expedition Unknown, Josh Gates, the Egyptologist Aidan Dodson, and a sculptor named Elizabeth Daines, who also created a reconstruction of Tutankhamun's face several years ago. Now, for the full details, we'll have to watch, of course, the full episode on the Travel Channel, which is why they like to tease us with this reconstruction. And if you're watching this video on the day it's released and you're living in the States, the show is going to air tonight. That is February 7th, 2018, on the Travel Channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's also going to be a follow-up episode next week on February 14th. And undoubtedly, both of these episodes will probably be replayed periodically. So that's all the news I have for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss future videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.